Imagine being 50 and you don't own a house. Imagine being 55 and you don't have a place to call home. Some of you will say, but 55, it's the new 30. And people these days, they wait till they reach, let's say, 63, 65. So that person still have 10 years to push. In those 10 years, a miracle can happen. Let me share with you a story. Last year, I was doing a house sitting somewhere. The owners went on holiday and they told me that they were doing a renovation on that home, and they told me that there are some guys who are coming to do the painting. When those guys arrived, there were 5 of them. 2 guys were in their 30s, and the other 2 were, let's say, 40, 44, 45, somewhere there. But this other particular guy, he looked odd and frail. But after I spoke to him, he told me that he was 67. Okay, those guys arrived, introduced myself to them, and yeah, I showed them what they were supposed to do there, and yeah, they started working. When time for lunch arrived, they asked me if I can give them their drink because I was keeping their cold drink in the fridge. So I passed them their cold drink and they went ahead and had their lunch. So while they were having lunch, I also decided, oh, you know what, let me sit outside because it was sunny and also nice. So I needed some fresh air. Then that other guy started asking me questions. He just wanted to know a little bit more about me. So he was asking me where I'm coming from, or how many kids do I have, and things like that. So we struck a conversation, and yeah, I was open to answer all his questions. So now, after I told him about me, I was also curious. I wanted to know his backstory. So I asked him where he came from. So he told me, and he told me that he came here when he was 17. His uncle brought him here. His uncle was working in construction. He's the one who taught him how to do painting, paving, building, plastering, and things like that. So he lived here with his uncle for like 2 years. Then the uncle got ill. Then he had to go back to their home country. So the uncle passed away. Then this gentleman had to come back here. I think they just went home for like 2 months. Then the uncle passed away. Then the gentleman decided, you know what, after his uncle's burial, he decided to come back here because what is he going to do at home? There's nothing to do there. So he came back here. His uncle used to work with different, he used to get jobs from different clients, and one of his clients called this guy and asked him if he can go to his house to do a job. Then he went there, he did the job, and that man told him that, you know what, I bought land somewhere and I want to start a project, but I don't have anyone who can supervise or live in that property. So I would like you to go and live on that property. I'll build you a nice house, or maybe a room or something, or a place that you can live, and yeah, I'll look after you. So that's what happened. This man started to live with this gentleman. So it was just basically he was doing his jobs, but then at the end of the day, he was living rent free. So he lived at that property for 15 years. The owner decided to move to Cape Town. So that means the gentleman had also to move. So, but fortunately, that white man find this gentleman a place to live again, because he had friends who were also uh, doing other jobs. So he find him accommodation. So basically, what the man was trying to tell me was like, you know what, I was living a good life here. I was not paying rent. That was not my stress. When I was young, in my 20s, in my 30s, in my 40s, I was just having jobs and things were working. The thing is, I made a mistake. I could have saved and built back home, but I didn't do that. You know, I was so good and I was listening attentively because I knew this guy has a story, and his story is going to teach me a thing or two. So I was asking questions and he was just like responding. He was just open, he was friendly, and he was telling me that, you know what, now I'm 67, yeah? Oh, I'm still strong. I can still work because also the reason that I'm working, I have to pay rent and I have to feed myself, because if I don't work, that means I'll starve. I won't have food. And if I stop working, who is going to pay for my rent? I asked him, so you didn't go home to, you don't have family like your wife, and what about kids? So basically his story was like, okay, when he moved here, he went home with his uncle when the uncle was ill. After 2 3 months, he moved back here. I don't know. I don't know if he visited home after the uncle's funeral again, or since that time he didn't had the willingness, or he was not interested to go visit home anymore, because as I said, life was good here, and maybe he just forgot about going home. Yeah, so his story uh, reminded me about my Sekulu story. I remember when I was like 8 or 9, my mom and dad told us that, okay, we are going to Wenera, we are going to pick up a Sekulu. A Sekulu, I think, is like uncle in Zimbabwe. Uh, my mom's uncle left Malawi. He went to Zimbabwe to work there, but he left Malawi and he didn't come home. That time when my mom and dad went to Wenera to pick up a Sekulu, okay, let me just tell you, Wenera is a big bus depot in Blantyre, Malawi. That time we were living in Blantyre. So all the buses, international buses, all the buses, that is the main depot in Blantyre. So yeah, my parents went to pick up a Sekulu and they brought a Sekulu at home. A Sekulu could barely speak Chichewa. Asekuru left Malawi when he was a teenager, went to Zim. He was working there. We don't even know if he was married there or what. So he came back home when all his hair was gray and he could barely speak Chichewa. So communication was like, it was breakdown. Yeah, we could communicate here and there, but Asekulu lived all his life in Zimbabwe. That gentleman that I'm talking about, as I said, he was frail and he was also limping. He was not in good health at all, but he has got no choice but to wake himself because he doesn't have a home to go to. Maybe also he's ashamed that if he go home, where is he going to start with, because he has got nothing back home. So it was also the same with Asekuru. Luckily, Asekuru had my mother, and my mom was happy to accommodate him. I don't really remember what happened to Asekuru. I think he lived with us. Then later, my mom had to um, she took him to the village, something like that. I can't really remember. But this gentleman's story taught me a lot. Uh, when we are young, let me say you start working, maybe you are in your 20, in your 30, don't wait. Start saving up. If your plan is that one day you would like to go back home, then do so. Start investing, start building back home. I know some of us, we are in our 40s and we don't have anything back home. Time is now. Especially if you are thinking that, okay, your plan is that one day you're gonna move back home. I know home is not for everyone. I know some people, they made a decision that, okay, I have papers here, so I'm better off to live here. Some people, let's say they're in Europe or they're in Australia, and they made a decision that, you know what, I think, oh, I'm not gonna go back home. That's a different story. But if you know for sure that one day you will return back home, the time to build is now. Don't wait until you are frail and you are limping, then you don't know what to do. Yeah, as I said, the gentleman's story just hit home. It reminded me of my own Asekuru. Asekuru came with a small bag. He was just holding a small bag. And with his jacket, he looked smart. He had his nice shirt, a suit, but also, I remember Asekulu loved life because I remember weekends, my dad used to drink and he would take Asekulu with him, go for drinking and things like that. And my dad would come back home and he was telling us stories that Asekulu was just dancing there at the pub and things like that. He was full of life. But the story, what I'm trying to say is Asekulu lived all his life in Zimbabwe, but he didn't invest anything back home. It's just the same as the gentleman. Gentleman was living his good life here. Uh, he doesn't have a family and is now in his 60s, and he doesn't have a place to call home. And he doesn't have a choice but to wake up each and every day go work, piece jobs. And you know what? At his age also, it's not easy to find work. I think that's why he just rely on these youngsters, those other guys, because those other guys, they are the ones who find work, and they'll call the gentleman to come and help them. So he's not like the main guy who find work. It's he work under other people, younger people, because at his age it's not easy for people to employ him. Yeah, so the main point the main point is that we should learn from these stories. Yeah, I'm also teaching myself. It's the advice that I always give myself. When I hear stories, other people's stories, I learn from them. I always want to learn from people's stories. So, yeah, that's what I thought of sharing with you today. If you're still watching this video, just subscribe. Let's do these therapy sessions together. Yeah, I remember a friend was asking me, do you get paid to make all these videos? Are you getting paid? So, yeah, that's also another story for another day. I'll explain. Anyway, yeah, I hope today's story, teach you something. Yeah, if your plan is to relocate, move back home, start building. Okay? Do something while you can make money, while you are making money, while you are strong, while you are capable. Is that the word that I'm supposed to use? But yeah, you understand what I'm trying to say. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Please don't end up like Sekuro. Take care. Bye.